video, we had some complaints about eating in our video. Well, we're doing it again! And also, we had some people complain about having kids in our video when my sister came in. So here's a child.
I hope that instead
of making our video better.
I hope instead of making your lame commentaries, this time you finally realize that you need to get on with your life and break up with your internet girlfriend.
Oh, boo-hoo, someone said something mean about your videos. Welcome to the internet. If you're going to post something on the internet, people are going to criticize it. This is the first thing that you're going to have to learn. People weren't commentating on your video because they have no lives, they were commentating on it because they thought it was a legitimately bad video. And by dealing with the criticism in the way that you did, you just proved MacBoy Redux and Mr. Genetic Griffin correct. Good job.
And plus, like, on the other hand, it's, like, impossible to be doing nothing. Like, you're breathing, you're thinking about breathing, your, like, lungs are, like, moving up and down, you're hearing, you're thinking about, like, your blood, like, moving, you're thinking about thinking, like, you're thinking about blinking, and you're smelling, and you're, like, it's impossible to be doing nothing. Like, your body is moving all the time, like, whether you know it or not, you are not doing nothing, no matter what. You are always doing something. So I get really mad when people are like, oh yeah, I'm doing nothing, because it's like, no, like, I want to continue the conversation. Like,
Really? So we need to describe everything that we're doing at any given moment in time. Here, let's test that out for a second. Hey, other me, what'd you up to? Well, I'm standing, I'm breathing, I'm thinking about breathing, my blood's pumping through my body, my lungs are moving up and down, I'm having a conversation with you, I'm looking around, trying to think of things to say. So not much? No, not really.
And what also makes me, like, really mad is when you text someone, like, something really long, you're like, okay, so guess what? Or, like, and then you go on and on and on about, like, what you did, and they're like, K. Or they just, like, say K, and you're like, what? Like, I just wrote down, like, this, like, really interesting, like, story, like, this long for you to read, and all you have to say is K? Like, what? Like, I'm a pretty interesting person, so you have to pretend to be interested in what I'm saying. Like, that's how I feel. I'm like, oh, like, I try to text you, and, like, all you have to say is K. Like, guess who's not in this relationship? You are not.
You heard it here, folks. When someone is having a conversation with you, you have to pretend that you're 100% invested when you're maybe only like 10 or 5 or -1, because they think that they're an interesting person. Guys and gals, what it really boils down to is that cell phone rants are actually kind of pointless. The reality of the situation is that what happens is you ramble on and on about a situation that you think is a problem, but is really more of a non-issue. Most of the problems that you point out can be solved by having a face-to-face conversation with a person, or failing that, a phone call. Texts are great when you want to send a message to someone really quick, like maybe you're going off to the movies and you want to see if people want to join you, but if you're having a full-on conversation back and forth, just dial the person. And if they're in a situation in which they can't really answer their phone, then they probably shouldn't be answering your texts either. Anyways, there were other issues I had with this video, but unfortunately they were just rehashes of previous points I've made in the Oh That Gaming Girl commentary.
Note, I won't bash Irate Gamer like I bashed Mario the Plumber, because I'm one of his fans, so I'm just pointing out things that he's wrong. So, and I even think that Irate Gamer is better than Angry Video Game Nerd. So, let's get to the commentary, shall we?
Okay, I can understand not liking the Angry Video Game Nerd, really, I do, but was it really necessary to bring that up in this particular commentary? What relevance does it have? Additionally, what the hell is going on in the background? All we hear is this smacking of something against something else. What? It's distracting and it's really loud, kind of drones you out, actually. Well, that was a pointless opening. Okay. It's still going. Oh god. It's still going. Oh. Why is it still going? So after being treated to an intro that's over a minute long, we finally start the video after being prompted to subscribe to his channel. Now,
Let's see. Alright, gamer, aka Chris Boards, aka Christopher Michael Boards. The first review we're going to take off is the Tekken 6 review.
6.
okay, well, who the hell got caught off there? Boris or the random kid? I don't know.
Alright, sorry guys, but I found this game to be absolutely terrible, and I just couldn't get into this one. I'm sure there are some die-hard Tekken fans out there, but after playing this game, I'm not one of them. First off, the entire game is still dubbed in Japanese.
No, it's not. Are you sure you have played the full game?
I mean, come on, what the hell? They can't hire some voice actors to narrate this stuff in English? I call this lazy. I mean, how
Okay, pro tip there, kid. If you're going to use text in your commentary, keep it up long enough for the person to actually read it.
hard is it to have someone do some audio overdubs for you? Hell, even I could do it. Hey, you there! Go fetch me the morning paper! What? I didn't sign up to this army to grab your paper! Get your own damn paper! Soldier, that's insubordination! To the brig with you! Oh, this is the 5th time this week. And during the entire first half hour of playing this game, I only got to fight in 3 battles, and they lasted only a total of 2 minutes.
Hello, there's something that exists that's called arcade mode.
Which he addressed, so this is irrelevant.
Now, I do like a good opening sequence as much as the next guy, but holy hell guys, just get to the damn game already.
Nope, not giving you the gratification of that joke. Effectively, it's just him saying, hey, press the start button.
Once the battle begins, it gets even worse, since the controls are terrible in this game. Now the most shocking...
Kid, remember when I said about the text? Keep it on long enough for people to actually read it? Regardless, was that joke really necessary? Is it really important that we beat that dead horse?
thing about Tekken 6 is the back of the box, because it's here that they show all the praises that this game has gotten.
You see the problem, it's not big of a deal, I mean, I'm just saying.
Now, it's not polite to interrupt.
GameSpot dubbed it the best of E3 2009. GamePro stated, sleeker, smoother, and more satisfying 3D fighter than we've ever seen. Even Game Informer called this game near gaming perfection. Near gaming perfection? Am I missing something here? I mean, what the hell are all these guys smoking?
You mean the characters or the creator?
Gee, I wonder whatever could he have meant.
We can't be talking about the same game here, because this isn't gaming perfection. I'm really wondering who the hell got paid off here, because I
Gee, I would have never guessed.
want included in
Actually, you were.
that loop.
Do you plan on finishing that thought? I mean, I know I didn't exactly go into depth as to what I meant by he covered the whole arcade mode thing, but you just kind of said, he did, and left.
Hey, show me the money, and I'll say this is the best game ever made. Now, after doing my review on Tekken 6, I had a handful of people email me afterward, and they all said pretty much something on the lines of this. Chris, you goober, you didn't even show the arcade mode. That's what all the awards were for. You only showed us the story mode. What's up with that? Alright, well, let's just go ahead and check out that arcade mode, shall we? And since they buried this feature so damn deep into the first menu screen, shouldn't surprise anyone I missed it in the first place. Okay, so here's the arcade mode, and on the upside, there's a large roster of characters to choose from, and a lot of them are pretty cool looking. The controls I found were really smooth, and I'm sure any Tekken fan would feel right at home with this game. Did I just hit a pig?
Okay, pro tip, white text on a white background
Okay,
doesn't
flying around
work.
livestock is pretty cool. Now, when it comes to fighting games, I'm more of a Mortal Kombat fan. So to me, I really just don't see the appeal factor that this game has. So Tekken 6 sucks.
Okay, next review.
What? You're gonna completely disregard that despite the fact that he called a decent game crap? You're gonna completely disregard the fact that this game has like 80s across the board, 80s and 90s, and he just tosses it to the side and says that it's total shit for no other reason than the fact that it's not in English? Or that he's a Mortal Kombat guy?
Mario is perhaps one of the most recognized video game icons of all time.
Their introduction? What's that?
And that could be mainly because they packaged each Nintendo system with the game Super Mario Bros. It quickly became one of the most...
I can't believe I'm getting ready to defend the boys. What about the N64? He's clearly showing the NES when he's talking about the Nintendo console, which implies that the game that Mario really took off on the NES console because of the game Super Mario Bros. Being bundled with that particular console. The N64 in this case is irrelevant. He didn't even so much as imply the N64.
popular games on the NES.
What about the Wii, the Game Boy, the SNES, the everything?
Those are all irrelevant. Mario originated on the NES console, and that is where he got his jump start. That is where he became popular. This is the one time that Boris is actually correct, and you're nitpicking it with false information.
And the real shit shocker is that the villain of the previous game has now been replaced by a fat frog named Warp.
That is like complaining about Warrior being fat.
Yeah, except that wasn't even remotely what it's saying. It was saying that the boss, Bowser, was replaced with a character he was unfamiliar with.
This makes no sense whatsoever. Now when you start this game, you'll have the choice of picking between 4 different characters,
And can you name these characters?
all with their own special abilities. Mario is the regular fighter, Luigi is the high jumper, Princess Peach can hover in the air for extended periods of time, and Toadstool, well, he's pretty much worthless. Once you select your player, it's time to start the game. And you do so by falling from a door in the sky. Exactly how a door got up there in the first place is way beyond me, but once you land, you'll notice that the gameplay has been totally altered. First they did away with the ability to smash your enemies. Instead, you'll have to pick them up and toss them at other enemies in order to kill them. Secondly, this game is only a one-player game. It's totally different from the original in which you could play 2 players.
What's wrong with that? I don't see anyone panicking because it's a fucking one-player game.
Mind if I play? Sorry man, this is just a one-player game. Well, that sucks.
Need I remind you all that this is the kid that said this in the opening?
So, and I even think that Irate Gamer is better than Angry Video Game Nerd.
And after you collected that 5th cherry, you gotta wait for it. Ugh.
Oh, I see what you're doing, Eager McBeaver. You're slowing down the image to see how worse it is. Well, it doesn't work. Don't lie, I've played the game. So, and I even think that Irate Gamer is better than Angry Video Game Nerd.
Look at this shit. Could it move any slower? I can take a shit faster than this.
Yeah, it's called a joke. Poorly written one, but nevertheless.
Hey YouTube, I'm gonna try and make this quick.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. I've already started this video and I've seen plenty of problems. First off, we can't even see you. Where the hell are you filming? Have you heard of lighting?
This is going to be a response to Cody Briscoe's latest commentary on me, where he pretty much sits back, he's pretty much talking smack right now, so I guess as they say, this will be a situation where I'm fighting fire with fire, so here it goes. I'm gonna try and be as nice as I can in this video, so let's go.
Keep that line in mind later in the video.
Video that I'm going to do out there and finish, because unless he uploads something that's like golden,
So pretty much he starts off his video saying that he's not going to make videos on me anymore, but then goes on to say unless I upload something golden, and then therefore won't waste my time anymore. This right here, folks, is a hypocrite at his best.
No, Models, hypocrisy is if he were to say something like, I'm never going to make videos on this guy ever again. Ever. Nope, nothing's going to change my mind. and then he goes and makes a video anyways. Or in a case like this, if he says that he's never going to make a video on you unless this, or this happens, and he goes ahead and makes a video on you, it's like, despite the fact that none of those happen.
Getting kind of tired of doing videos on him. I have other things to do.
If you have other things to do, then why have you been wasting your time on me from the start? Alright? And honestly, I'm getting kind of tired of mentioning you in my videos, and I'm getting kind of tired of having all the harassment coming from people who watch your videos.
Hey, you smell that? It smells like irony.
Yes, Briscoe, I know these people are watching your videos. I'm not that big of an idiot. Actually, I'm not an idiot.
This might be kind of mean-spirited, but anyone else notice how he had to kind of think about that for a second?
Like bronies.
Also, what is your deal with bronies?
By the way, if you have a video you want me to commentate on, please send it my way. I am running out of material.
In my opinion, if you're running out of material like you claim you are, Briscoe, then you probably shouldn't even be on YouTube.
Are we seriously going to make this argument? Are we seriously going to wave around our homemade YouTube police badge in this guy's face? Oh, I'm running out of material, so I shouldn't be on YouTube. Are you kidding me?
Guys, this is going to be, oh yeah, there's nothing visually interesting about this video, so he's not filming it in, like, his creepy snuff film bedroom, but...
First off, I'm going to say this one more time. That video wasn't even filmed in my bedroom. It wasn't even filmed in the house, for the record. It was filmed in the front seat of my car, just like I'm filming this video right now. I would never dream of filming a video in my room. I just don't find it to be proper. Alright? And for the record, I highly doubt you know what a snuff film is. You're probably looking at cliches in films and taking a wild guess at what a snuff film is. And that's heavily unfortunate. So pretty much right there, you're talking out your ass, with all due respect. You're talking out your ass there, so you don't know what you're talking about.
This is what happens when you're dealing with a person who has absolutely no argument to present. They start to ramble on about something that really has absolutely no relevance to the rest of the video. Yes, he said it was a creepy snuff film. Do you even know what a snuff film is? It is effectively a, I don't want to say a home video, but definitely, it's usually depicting an actual murder, like it is the film of an actual murder. That is what the snuff film is. And furthermore, how the hell are we supposed to know when you're filming when all we see is this red glow on your face and nothing else? I can't even tell where you were filming here until you said something. So that's not really on him. That's clearly on you, because you don't understand the concept of lighting.
Speaking of snuff films, this looks like a lost clip from the Poughkeepsie tapes.
Don't know what those are, but if that was supposed to be a joke, then that was terrible. That's something else that I believe I need to mention. Your jokes are terrible, and if you're trying to be like Jim Carrey, I'm going to have to kindly ask you to stop, because your jokes are terrible, and, they're not funny, okay? They're just not funny.
Okay, Chuckles, like, you've said anything worthwhile? Also, for the sake of time, I'm going to skip this next part because this video is 20 minutes long.
But he claims he is not yet uploading them, and I'm praying that he doesn't. Alright? Oh, and by the way, before I get anyone into the video, for the record, this is towards Cody Briscoe.
God, I love it when people say my name. I can't get over it.
Self-indulgence. Yeah, I'm not too big a fan of that.
God forbid he cracks a joke.
Please stop.
This is an effort to save time.
I'm sorry, Briscoe. I don't care who it started with. You're part of it. You used my videos.
Maybe instead of bitching on YouTube, you should take some damn speech therapy.
And maybe instead of criticizing how I talk, maybe you should be looking into some lessons on how to become a true comedian instead of pulling jokes out of your ass and putting them on YouTube in attempts to make fun of people and thinking that they're funny. So maybe you should give that a shot.
In what made-up world do you think he's a comedian? He's a commentator, for Pete's sake.
You said those things about me, and now you've brought on the harassment, so...
You act like you were all innocent to begin with, but you were the one who was saying some really hurtful, sexist things in the first place, jackass.
Actually, no, it didn't start with me. It started with Love Shack, and you obviously can't seem to make up your mind on who it was, jackass. because you first says it starts with Love Shack. Then you say it starts with me. You are the exact definition of an abso-fucking-lute hypocrite at its best.
I believe the term you're looking for is wishy-washy, and even then I don't think that's the case. That's just becoming more better educated on the issue at hand.
So my suggestion to you, pull your head out of your fucking ass, wake your dumb ass up, and wake up and smell the fucking coffee.
Same
Don't be
can be
calling me a
said to you, man.
jackass, you worthless little jackass.
It didn't start with you. I agree, it started with Love Shack.
Actually, it started the very second you said, I don't need some slut wasting my time.
No, it started when Love Shack decided that it would be okay to post my video, notice I said my video, in attempts to get views, and he did just that.
Did you ever stop to think of why he might have done that? Is it possible that maybe he decided to post your video to, I don't know, call you out on your sexism?
He stole my video, he did not have my consent.
Models, if everyone needed consent to make a video, a commentary, or a review, we wouldn't have anything negative. All these reviews and commentaries would be positive, because no one wants anything bad said about them. Are you serious, man?
He, in no way, I didn't know he did it until some random YouTube user came onto one of my videos and posted me the link. So, no, it didn't start with me. There's a difference between sexism and opinions, jackass.
Okay, I want you to think really hard about that statement and tell me how in the world that makes sense. Haven't you thought that maybe an opinion can be sexist? Additionally, this is the third time that you've called this guy a jackass after claiming that you're going to try being nice.
And for the record, I'm not acting like the victim. I am the victim, Briscoe. I am yours and Love Shack's victim.
So what does he do? He makes a commentary and makes it worse.
And you know, with all due respect, Briscoe, you have the attitude of a little kid, okay? You sound like a little kid who's trying to pin the blame on somebody. You go towards Love Shack and say, oh, it's him. Then you look at me and say, oh, it's your fault. Well, the truth is, it started with Love Shack. You came along and made it worse. That's how it went, Briscoe.
You missed one thing there. After Briscoe made this worse, quote-unquote, you decided to take a shot at yourself and make it an absolute living hell.
I'm not an idiot, okay? I know there's a chance my subscribers are going to go out and contact the people that I do videos on, even if I ask them not to, but you know what?
First off, it's not just a chance, it's a really big chance, because this is the kind, from the way I see it, quite a few of your viewers are trolls, okay? They're trolls, they're bullies, and they're trolls and they're bullies, just like you. I'm not calling you a troll, I'm calling you a bully. You fit the criteria perfectly.
I'm sorry, but are you sure? Are you absolutely positive that this person wants to cause you physical or mental harm in any way, shape, or form? The guy is making a commentary on you. That doesn't necessarily strike me as mean-spirited. So what criteria are you going by?
Really? I'm the ignorant one when you were the one who was like, I don't need some slut wasting my time.
Yes, you are the ignorant one. You are literally drowning in your ignorance, buddy. Because unlike you, I know what I want in my life. Do you? Yeah. I say again, you live in your ignorance, and that's unfortunate.
Dude, being ignorant and knowing what you want are two entirely different things. You are ignorant of the information provided to you. You do not listen to what anyone has to say about the content that you're posting, and instead choose to label everyone as trolls, bullies, etc. Yes, you are very ignorant. You may know what you want in life, but you are very, very ignorant when it comes to dealing with the issues that are presented to you. Newsflash, this isn't the way to do it.
Because let me give you a little history lesson. If this was back in the 1930s, and you did the things you were doing to the wrong person...
Oh, please, no, don't tell us what would happen to me in the 1930s.
You know what they would do? They would do one of two things to you. A, they'd be putting you in the hospital every time they saw you, or B, they would put you 6 feet under. In other words, that means they would kill you. Yeah, the 1930s was a very wild time. That was just a little history lesson for the record.
Wow, beautiful. You pulled that out of a textbook? Regardless, that doesn't really matter because it's not relevant. If anyone tried to go by that today, they would be imprisoned. If anyone were to put anyone 6 feet under, and we are not stupid, they would go to prison. It's not the 1930s anymore. It's frickin' 2014.
Then I guess it's only fair to do what you're doing to me back. That's how I work. But I'm asking you with all due respect, please don't upload those videos, okay?
You're threatening him, and then you're with all due respect, please don't upload the videos because I'm telling you not to.
Not at all. It's not at all what I'm saying.
That's exactly what you said. You effectively threatened to fight fire with fire, saying that you already made the commentaries and you're getting ready to post them if he makes his video, and then you turn around and beg that he doesn't post those videos, with all due respect. That is exactly what you said. Are you kidding me?
And you're putting words in my mouth, Briscoe. That's what you've been doing since the beginning. And that's exactly what makes you the kind of person that you are.
Models, you need to understand something. Reinterpreting something or rewording something or abbreviating something is not putting words in your mouth. It's just that. Rewording it.
I don't need any more crap. I'm already going through enough here on YouTube.
If you take YouTube drama seriously, then that's your fault, buddy.
Yeah, especially when it's being started by some guy who obviously doesn't really give two shits about somebody. So technically, yeah, you don't really need to be pointing fingers at somebody, buddy.
And the funny thing is, he's actually right. If you're taking YouTube drama seriously, if you're taking internet drama this seriously, then you have much bigger problems on your hands than what someone called you online, or if someone's putting your words in your mouth on the internet. Or hey, maybe you're just immature.
Who in real life discovers your videos, chances are they discovered it through your channel and not mine. So, like, you're the one to blame there. Sorry, buddy. Maybe.
Actually, no, because technically they don't really know who I am until they stumble upon your video. So, sorry, buddy, but you got caught there. There is a heavy flaw in your statement.
Next time, don't.
I'm not sure how this makes sense. Isn't it possible for the person to stumble upon your videos and find out who you are through, oh, I don't know, your channel? Because, hey, they're your videos. They have your face, you know, most of the time. And it's you talking, so it is very possible for someone to find out who you are through your channel. Think about that for a second.
Little man, oh my god, how condescending can you get? You talk to people like you're way older than them, but you were just talking about, like, high school.
Well, there you go again, putting words in my mouth.
Except that that's exactly the subject that you were talking about just not too long ago. I think I probably cut it out, but you were talking about how the kids in your school are mean bully jerks who would sooner punch you in the face. Those weren't your exact words, but it's pretty fucking close. So don't give me the whole putting words in your mouth bullshit.
If you want to be respectful and say please and shit when you're asking people not to do things, maybe not threaten them.
Well, let me lay a fun fact on you here, Briscoe. We live in a very snooty and hateful world. Sometimes, please just won't cut it. So sometimes you have to be a little something called, oh, what's the word? Oh, that's right, assertive.
But you weren't assertive, you were aggressive, and generally speaking, that's gonna get you hurt one way or another.
That's not going to help at all. All it's going to do is tempt me to keep making videos on you, which I don't want to do because this is getting old.
And if you continue to do that, I will respond to you and respond to you and respond to you.
And making the situation worse for yourself, and worse for yourself, and worse for yourself. Well, surprise, surprise, good old Models responded. And, you know what, I'm going to make a quick video response, but instead of going back through the entire video, I'm just going to cover a couple points, because, well, first off, if I go through the entire video, I'm just going to end up repeating myself. It's going to be a lot of, no, I said this, no, I said that, and it's not going to be fun for anyone, let alone myself. So we're actually going to look at some of the more technical aspects that he points out, or tries to point out. Starting with...
Abbreviating something is not putting words in your mouth.
Models, really? This is why we point out their presentation. This is why we point out the problem that we have with you using your cell phone to make these commentaries, because crap like this can happen. Crap like this. And this. I don't know how you don't get this.
I would link the original video, but go figure he deleted it, so I can't give proper credit. Ha! Ha ha ha! There you go. Therefore, well, too late. You already got the video, so nice try. I still wonder how you got a hold of the video.
Because I downloaded it before you took it down, and there's this nice website online in which you can download YouTube videos called KeepVid. It might actually help you with your commentaries. So, that's a freebie on me.
This video is protected under fair use as commentaries are made for educational purposes. No, they're not. They're made to induce harassment.
Well, then you better take your video down because you're harassing me.
So why don't we get this thing started and that will...
Stop picking at yourself.
Hey YouTube,
It all goes back to presentation, man. It's very hard for me to take you seriously when your presentation is crap.
And by the way, a friendly pro tip, if you want people to take you seriously in your commentaries, if you want people to take you seriously when you're making commentaries, then stop using pictures of Pinkie Pie, because I couldn't take somebody with a picture of a character like that seriously. Sorry.
But I like Pinkie Pie. I mean, look at the smile. It's so adorable. How can you not trust a face like that? I mean, look at her. Look at her. She's so fucking adorable! Current imagery aside, honestly, models, I think you're in a current state of denial. You're denying the fact that any of this is your fault. You're denying the fact that these commentaries that you're making is only making your situation worse. I mean, seriously, haven't you taken the time to think about it? You make a video. Someone commentates on it. You commentate on that video. Then someone commentates on the new video. So you commentate on that video. And then someone commentates on the newest video. Have you not made the connection yet? If you stopped commentating on these people that are coming and quote-unquote attacking you, harassing you, whatever, then you wouldn't have this issue. And you cannot rely on the other people to stop making commentaries on you, especially when you're doing this, when you're pulling this crap. It really falls on you to stop this. And if you wanted to stop, you gotta break the chain. By the way, saying that you're not in denial isn't going to prove a thing, because if you're in denial, chances are you're not going to admit to it.
What is up, YouTube? What is up, gamers? My name, of course, is Alpha Wolf 105, and today I'm going to be discussing a very infamous YouTuber who goes by the name of Gligar13vids.
Oh yeah, one more thing. Now, because I really don't want to have to explain that Gligar13 is a troll again, I'm just going to take this elephant here and put him in the top left corner of the screen. Okay? Okay.
Second of all, when it comes to his reviews, he has to attack the plot.
That's what most reviewers do. The plot is kind of important in a story-centric game.
And quite honestly, I still think it's a great plot.
And Gligar doesn't. Opinions are fun, aren't they?
And yeah, and Gligar13vids is pretty much bitching and complaining about how it's a shitty plot, when it's really not. I mean, there's a major plot twist in every single video game. Like, for example, N becomes a bad guy in the first Black and White, but in Black and White 2 he actually helps you out. And actually, when you beat the Pokemon League in Black and White 2, he'll give you his legendary dragon.
How is that a plot twist? You literally explained to us the entire plot of Pokemon Black and White and told us that N, through the course of the game, becomes a good guy. So it's really not that much of a shock that N, the good guy, would come and help you in the sequel. That's not a plot twist. That's character development.
So yeah, Gligar13vids, you're wrong on the whole shitty engine, shitty plots, and shitty graphics. Just face it, you're wrong.
Okay, let me ask you a question. How is he wrong on the engine? How is he wrong on the graphics? We don't know because you didn't explain it. The only thing that you rambled on about was the story. Unless the graphics bit is referring to the comparison between Sonic Adventure 2 and Twilight Princess. But just because the comparison is wrong doesn't necessarily mean that the graphics weren't shit.
Second of all, when it comes to Gligar13vids' rant, the one I recently saw was his attack on Imagine Dragons with their song Radioactive. And quite honestly, it's a good song. I don't know why he's bitching and complaining about it. I mean, everybody likes it.
Hey, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. I'm not a big fan of the song. Thus making your statement about everyone liking the song incorrect, because someone doesn't like the song.
I think there's something wrong with this kid. Like, he doesn't like Imagine Dragons or the song Radioactive attacking just this soul chorus in the song.
And then he starts singing, skipping. Also, apparently, there's something wrong with Gligar 13 because he has an opinion that's different from yours. Guess what? That's life. By the way, if you don't like the chorus of something, you know, the part of the song that constantly repeats throughout, you might not like the entire song.
I mean, what is wrong with this song? I mean, it's a good song and all, but what gives you the right to attack it? I mean, just because you attack one part of the song, that means the entire song sucks, and that means the entire band sucks. No, the band does not really suck because, first off, the name Imagine Dragons came out because the lead singer of Imagine Dragons didn't want to tell their families about their original name, which I don't even know the original name, so they pretty much stuck with Imagine Dragons.
What does that have to do with anything? The band doesn't suck because they won't tell people the original name of the band? That makes sense.
Now, again, with this whole attack on Imagine Dragons things, how he thinks that the band sucks and how he doesn't like alternative rock on the radio. Problem is, a lot of people actually like the song. And what do, Gligar13vids? You just sit in a corner and bitch and complain about how people like this. Like, I don't even know how people like this. This song sucks. Nah, 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 nah. Blah, 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 blah. I mean, just get over it. People like it. Deal with it.
People like Sonic 06. Deal with it. People like Duke Nukem Forever. Deal with it. People like Fanboy and Chum Chum. Deal with it. People like Twilight. Deal with it. People like Gligar 13. All together now.
I mean, you have the right to your own opinion, but you don't have to fucking attack the whole damn thing.
Well then, looks like sharing your opinion and explaining why you have that opinion is attacking the whole goddamn thing now. Good to know.
And as a result of him attacking the song Radioactive by Imagine Dragons, I actually like Imagine Dragons, but I'm surprised that this kid even topped 2,500 subscribers just off posting hate videos of pretty much everything that he doesn't like that is related to Battlefield or Call of Duty.
Well, that was quite the jump. We just went from Imagine Dragons to Battlefield and Call of Duty. Wow.
So bad that even someone created a petition to IP ban him from YouTube, and I'll put that in a link in the description below if you want.
Despite not breaking any rules. And then he goes and encourages people to go spam his channel, which we all know by now isn't going to work, right? I have absolutely no idea why people keep making videos on Gligar 13. I mean, it's clearly obvious that the guy's a troll, and even if you were to look his name up on YouTube somewhere, chances are you'll find some video telling you that the guy is a troll. Regardless of his status as a troll, however, I hate it when people encourage others to spam YouTube channels or to sign a petition to get him off of YouTube just because they have an opinion that others may or may not want to hear. Let me ask you guys a question real quick. If you don't like what Gligar has to say, Why are you still watching him? I mean, you clearly don't want to hear what he has to say, so what's the first thing you do? You go to his channel to see what he has to say about your favorite game, knowing that you're probably not going to like it. But I'm starting to stray off topic. Let's get back onto Alpha Wolf here. Dude, your points are incredibly flawed. I don't even need to tell you that Gligar13 is a troll. Even if Gligar was 100% serious, your arguments don't really work. Imagine Dragons is a good band because they don't tell you what their original name was. People like something, therefore we must sit idly by and keep our opinions to ourselves. Yeah, talk about the hypocrisy right there. I don't know if you were looking at bullet points or if you had a full-blown script, but if it was a full-blown script, then you may want to consider rewriting it a few times before making a video.
Enough of the explanation, let's get on with the commentary. Shall we?
Hello everyone.
Why, hello there, Mr. Geiger.
Today I'm going to be reviewing a game series this time instead of a single game in the series. Which series, may you ask? Well, Toho.
Ahem! It's pronounced Toho, not Tohu. Get that pronunciation right, boy!
Well, I'm not really going to review each game because all of the games are almost all the same for each one. I mean, I've played several of them. The only difference between them is the fact that they just change the bullet patterns and that's it. They use the same engine, they have the same glitches.
Same engine? More like different engine, as Toe fighting games were different than the usual Toe game.
And we're also spin-offs and not necessarily part of the main series. As we watch the video, we find that Gligar talk about the main series, not the spin-offs.
Each game has a different engine, other than just bullet hell.
What?
As for Dodonpachi, there's only one. That's it. His argument doesn't believe it's pointless.
What? Okay, I think I get what he's trying to say. He's trying to say that every single Toho game is its own engine, which is not the case. From what I can gather, and this is only based on like 5 seconds of research, games 5 up to like 9 all use the same engine, whereas 10 beyond are a completely different engine. It's not uncommon to find multiple games within the same series using the same engine to make the game.
The same problems and everything, so let's start this reading off, shall we? Now, if you're unaware,
Oh, wasn't that so surprising? He went from Mountain of Faith to the embodiment of Scarlet Devil. Well, since it is a series review, I know it's a minor nitpick, that's just my opinion.
What's your opinion? The fact that he went back to an earlier Toho game, or the fact that he went to a different Toho game, period? That's not really telling me anything. And you said it yourself, it's a series review. Him jumping between games is going to happen just because of the nature of the video.
the PC98 game that nobody gives a shit about because nobody outside of your panels want anymore, so who the hell cares?
In fact, a few people care about PC98 games, starting from the highly responsive to players to the Mystic Square, and this is the first debut of main characters like Raimi, the Shrine Maiden, Marissa, the Magician, Alice, the Puppeteer, and Yuka, Flowering-Loving Yokai. That's why I can describe for her. Fans can still play the older games by using an emulator, but that will be illegal, so yeah.
Okay, this is a pet peeve of mine that I just hate every single gets brought up. Using an emulator in of itself is not illegal. An emulator is not in of its essence illegal. Using an emulator to play a commercial game can be considered illegal, especially if you obtained this game through less than legitimate means, but using an emulator in of itself is not illegal. Oh, and while we're on the subject, how many of those people do you really think care about the older Toho games? How many of those people do you really think care about 1 through 5, considering that you do have to use an emulator in order to play those games, and they don't play as nicely as the newer games, and hell, even the first one doesn't even play anything like any of the other Toho games.
Every single character in Toho is a little girl.
Wait. Mr. Gligar, not all characters are little girls. Characters like Yukari, Flandre, and Yuka are as old as my granny in my house. The youngest one would be, well, 15. Basically a teenage.
Yeah, I know, right? Where does he come up with these misconceptions?
Also, I'm no pedophile for liking something with little girls. That would be illogical.
That was actually kind of unnecessary to bring up, but okay.
Now, I know the game was some indie game developed by one guy, but could he have at least had other people test these games? The games are glitchy, have a ton of bugs. For example, Top 10 is notorious for crashing a lot. The games sometimes just crash for no reason, only because they can crash. I don't get why though. Maybe because they're just poorly programmed and they suck.
If this is true, then you have the worst computer you ever get. And there is no proof that there are glitches and bugs in the TehGlitchKyng game.
And don't forget the legendary Marissa B glitch.
You also have limited configuration options, and most of the configuration is done through an external utility. I think the author was too lazy to code a configuration utility into the game, and when you change key config, it only gives you a number like 0, 1, 0, 2. You can't map it anywhere you want. So you're just stuck with the default controls either way unless you use a special external utility.
The controls are simple, moron.
While I agree, that's not what he was complaining about. He was not complaining about how complex the controls were. He was complaining about how the configuration for the controls is garbage, which they are, because you can't actually tell where they're configured from that option menu.
If you don't know about the controls, simply Google controls in Toho and you'll get the idea.
Which you shouldn't have to do. I shouldn't have to look up a guide on the internet to configure the controls how I want to have them configured.
There's no... Okay, here's one thing. From EOSD to Imperishable Night, they give you the option to start where you've been killed, and after 5 games, excluding the spin-offs, they fix the issue in 10 designs to the present.
Or, if you don't speak gibber, what he's pretty much saying is that Toho games 6 through 8 allowed you to continue the game where you had previously died if you have to continue on through the continue screen, whereas 10 and onward force you to start the entire stage all over. This is more than likely because they are using 2 different engines.
Soundtrack's not even that great. I mean, it's not very memorable, it's not that good, it's just okay-ish. And then you've got people making remixes of it over and over again. Here's the thing, why don't you guys remix a better game and not just this? I mean, better games deserve more remixes than this garbage.
That's BS on this one. I like Zoon's compositions. Especially.
So it would seem that Gligar can't have opinions, and then he plays Toho music, so we're going to skip that mess. By the way, Toho music is pretty kick-ass.
Well, you'll get the idea, mate. Yeah, awesome to hear. If you said that you personally don't like the music, then I can accept the fact.
Oh, I see. So Gligar can't have opinions unless he outright states that it's his opinion, and even though it's a review, which is like his opinion by default. Oh, and this is something else that I hate about these kind of videos, the webcam videos. The blank stares, the lack of editing, the having to sit through minutes upon minutes of footage watching him say nothing. I'd rather be watching Glagar's review right now.
Because it's PC exclusive. Just get MAME, and then MAME like, oh, there's way too many good shmups. You've got too many cave ones.
Alright. I think we're gonna stop this one. And we're gonna talk about like that. First of all, there's no such thing as hype in turn games because they're never advertised in the world. Western world. People didn't know that Toho was either an anime series or a game like right now. However, their most famous is Bad Apple. I personally like the song, and if you watch the music video, there are characters
Okay, I gotta
featured
stop
from
your rambling for
TH1
a
to
minute.
TH10.
Alright, so let's start from the top. 1. A game does not need to be advertised in order to be hyped up. You can hype up a game without having to show a commercial or an ad on a website or anything like that. It is possible. All you really need to do is spread word of mouth, which is how Toho became popular in the first place. 2. How the hell do we get from saying, oh, people don't know whether or not it's a game or an anime, to my favorite one is Bad Apple, which is... Oh, I don't even know. Why? Why? Structure your sentences. Write a script. Form a coherent thought.
Approximately, I think. And I played a song in the beginning. And I forgot to mention, he's also targeting the graphics. Oh yes, the graphics. I forgot to mention that. And this is mere stupidity to the maximum. I mean, how many times you said about the graphics being garbage in your review? And how many times did you say that Toho isn't even fun at all? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I know. It's almost like he's reviewing the game or something.
It's not... Okay, this is not cool. Seriously. Like, I admit I didn't even play the game, but I'm thinking it's a good game by its gameplay.
So let me get this straight. You're doing a commentary on a game, praising the game like it's your job, and you haven't even played the game yet. Do you even realize how much more credible Gligar is than you right now? Anyways, let's wrap this up. Skipping to the end.
But the one that is so stupid to the maximum is that you want everything. Except for the fan base, and you never even do research before you even review the game.
Actually, yes, he did do his research. It's called playing the goddamn game! And then he pretty much just closes out. Overall, what did I think of this video? It was better than his Guptail commentary. It really was. I will give him that, but the problem is that this video is still not all that great. Much like Alpha Wolf, even if Gligar was being serious, even if Gligar was 100% serious and not a troll, this video was still bad. You got a lot of work to do, man. You can do it. I know you can do it, but you haven't done it yet.
I'm in a really ranty mood, so I thought I'd make a video. Because mobile phones annoy me so much. Phones that vibrate. If you put it on a hard surface and someone sends you a message, you're going to get freaked out. You just be sitting there minding your own business and your phone just starts casually spazzing out on the table next to you.
Yes, God forbid the phone does something that it's designed to do and alert you when you have a message.
Nothing is more annoying when someone sits there and constantly spams you. You just be sitting there minding your own business and suddenly your phone will just be like...
To try this, could turn the sound off on your phone. Don't turn on vibrate, just turn the sound off. That actually goes back into point number 1. You don't like it vibrating? Don't turn on vibrate.
Those people that you just have blank chats with, you know that the conversation's not going to go anywhere and so do they. Do you ever just think, why the hell am I wasting my time on you?
Well, honestly, that's your own fault. If you're going to strike up a conversation, you'd better have something to talk about. Otherwise, yeah, this is gonna happen.
What the hell was that? It's like you see someone in the street, you don't just go up to them, hi, what are you doing? Nothing much. What about you? Okay, bye. You don't do that. What the hell?
You do if you know the person and neither party actually has anything to talk about.
Slow texters. They're just about as bad as the slow people that walk in front of you about 2 miles per hour. And there's nothing more annoying than trying to have a conversation with someone and you text them and it takes about 5 minutes for them to reply. Like, think if that happened in real life. If someone says hi to you, you don't take 5 minutes to say hi back.
See, and this is one of the major reasons why I'm tagging this video. First off, yes, it can take 5 minutes. Haven't you ever heard of someone, being busy? Not everyone is sitting at their phone 24/7 waiting for your text to show up so that they can reply to it immediately after. Not everyone is a freaking 5-year-old girl with a cell phone strapped to their hip like you. If you want to have a conversation, then call the person. Otherwise, stop complaining.
And I know I always say this, but BBM in general, I think that deserves its own video because it will be a long one. But I mean the lights in general that come off the screen.
Village filled with joyful and happy
I think I might just
spirits. And one particularly happy.
If I'm in the cinema and I'm finding it boring, I will want to get my phone out. But I can't do that if it looks like I'm setting something on fire in the middle of a film.
Yes, never mind the fact that it's completely rude to do something like that in the first place. You don't pick up your phone in the middle of a film. It's rude. It's rude to the people next to you. It's rude to the people in front of you. I hate people like this. If you need to have a conversation on your phone that badly, go outside.
The last thing is voicemail. No one uses it anymore. Get it to your head. I can't stand it when it tells me I have a voicemail. There's only 2 people that leave me voicemails. My granddad and my friend Holly from school. I don't mind them, but anyone else, get out. Go, get out. Do you really think I want to sit here and listen to you talking to me and I'm not even there? So you're just going to be like, hi, I know you didn't pick up your phone. Hi, how are you? Yeah. Call me back when you get this.
Yeah, people still use voicemail. I use voicemail. Every now and then I'll actually give my girlfriend a call before I head into work to see if we have any plans or anything like that. And you know what? I can't rely on her to be at her phone 24/7 like you do with all of your friends, and sometimes I need a response like that. Unfortunately, I don't always reach the people I'm trying to call, so I just give them a quick message trying to explain why I was calling them in the first place, and then hang up. People still use voicemail. You don't, but others do.
In the last video I said that I ordered a capture card. I ordered it on Monday, this Monday, and I ordered it with Amazon Prime. That's the free 2-day shipping. So yeah, I ordered it on Monday. Okay, so this is where it begins retarded and it gets more retarded. Okay, so then I got a confirmation email saying that it's going to be here on Friday. So I'm pissed off enough. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Alright, fine. Friday. Whatever. Fine. Whatever. At least I'll be able to record with it when everybody comes over on Friday or Saturday, whenever. But now they're saying it's gonna fucking come on Saturday. Like, honestly, I'm not paying fucking Amazon Prime so you can fucking give me my package 5 days late. Like, no. No. Do the fucking math. It's not Amazon Prime free 5-day shipping. It's Amazon Prime free 2 fucking days shipping. That's a difference of 3 fucking days. You're gay. You're gay, Amazon. You're fucking queer.
Okay, Apple lover, I want you to take a really good look at this screenshot and tell me what you see. These are 3 markets in which you can buy the Elgato game capture device. See this? This is the Amazon Prime logo. This generally tells you whether or not a product is covered by Amazon Prime, whether you'll be able to get your free shipping, etc, etc, etc. Notice how it's not down here. That means it's not covered by Amazon Prime, which means you do not get your free 2-day shipping. Because despite what you think, not everything on Amazon.com is shipped by Amazon. So really, it's just a result of your own ignorance that the package is quote-unquote late. Either way, oh no, you have to wait an extra 5 days before you can use your capture device, like everyone else. Cry me a fucking river.
How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? And today I am ranting about not Microsoft Windows XP. Instead, I'm ranting about Apple, the polar opposite. Why is it that people respect Apple so fucking much?
Because despite its drawbacks, and let's face it, every platform has drawbacks, it's actually a fairly decent product.
I mean, just a couple of days ago, I was in my capital city's mall, yeah, the city mall, and I ran across an Apple store. Yeah, you know, where they sell all kinds of their overpriced products. So I went in, and hey, guess what? There was this super expensive all-in-one computer, an iMac or whatever. I don't deal with that bullshit. And you know how much it cost? It cost, converted into US dollars, well, probably close to 2600 bucks. Yeah, that's how much it fucking cost. I'm not even kidding.
And now for a quick explanation of why. People like buying things, and when people buy things, the companies get money. The more people that buy a particular product, the more money that the company makes. The more money the company makes, the more people the company realizes that they can charge for these products because, hey, people are going to buy them. The issue here isn't the fact that the Mac is overpriced. The issue here is that people have blindly praised the machine to the point where Mac realizes they can get away with overpricing their products. Blame the consumer, not Apple.
It cost that much. So the specs were 8 gigabytes of RAM, 3.4 gigahertz 8-core Intel i7 processor, 2 gigabytes of graphics card. What is that shit? That shit you can get for less than $1,000 with a Microsoft Windows computer, a PC.
Which has a horrible reputation of not being all that secure. The one issue with Windows products, the one issue that I have with the Windows operating system is that you absolutely positively need an antivirus software if you even think about taking that thing online. Yes, it would be a good idea to get antivirus software regardless of what system you have, but the Mac does a fairly decent job of making sure that it's not a necessity, more so a luxury.
Hell, even laptops. You can buy a similar laptop for that price.
At varying qualities in the whole, construction of the product. I have myself an Alienware laptop that cost me about $2,000 to put together, and you know what? I kind of regret it every now and then. It's Dell. Dell is not necessarily known for their stability, and that is the other problem with Windows products, is that they don't have a uniform quality standard, something that Mac does.
Not mentioning an all-in-one computer, it would have twice the specs for $1,000. Not even kidding. This is the whole truth that I hold here. Then we have their laptops and their computers. Same shit as their all-in-one computer, overpriced as fuck, though not as overpriced. Then we have iPhone and iPad and iPod and iPod Touch and iPad Mini and iPhone C and wow. How did they even make all these products? Their newest product is iPhone 5 and iPhone 5C, sorry. And you know what it is? It's an iPhone 5 available in 8 colors. What the fuck? That's horrible. How can you sell a new product at a full price and just change the colors?
Oh gee, I don't know. Let's go ask literally everyone else.
That's insane. I mean, oh, I don't know. That's not even it. their products are so underpowered and overpriced. It's even more overpriced than their PCs or Macintoshes, as they tend to call them. Okay. A basic 16GB iPhone of any generation, if it's of the current generation, is $649. Now, in every generation, you could buy a similar phone for, guess what, twice less.
You mean half as much? Either way, you need to learn something. There's this thing called spending more money on the name than on the actual product, and it's plaguing the market in just about every single field. Handbags. If you talk to a girl, you're going to run into women who are looking for the next latest and greatest handbag that's going to cost them like $500 when they really only need to get one that's like $50 and is just as good. But you know what? It's not Dooney and Burke. Or Windows machines. Dell, freaking Alienware, $2,000. It's worth half that, if that. So don't say that it's a problem exclusive to Apple.
Apple's products are so out of sync with their competition.
I would beg to disagree. They do make a decent product. I don't use one myself. My brother actually has one, and I've tinkered around with it, and it's a fairly decent machine. Is it worth $2,000? Is it worth $1,000? I don't think so. But I cannot say that it is by far a bad product. That, and you have the ad campaign. They had the, "Hi, I'm PC. Hi, I'm Mac." I think that they're more in sync with their competition than you realize.
They're so underpowered, so overpriced, it's not even funny. And to think maybe their quality is good. Maybe their operating system is good. Okay, macOS is a good operating system actually, but Windows, at least in my opinion, beats it any day of the week.
Okay, which one? Windows Vista was a train wreck. Windows XP and 7 are okay, and Windows 8 is an operating system designed with tablets in mind that was put on desktop for Lord knows what reason. And even then, 7 and XP have their share of problems. Remember what I said earlier? Remember what I said that if you're going to go on the internet, you need an antivirus software?
Then we have iOS, or as they claim, it's the most advanced mobile operating system there is. What the fuck? How can you say that? Have you ever used your system that you have designed? How can it be so, advanced if you can't place widgets? If you can choose between very little amount of backgrounds?
Yeah, limited amount of backgrounds, my ass.
If you cannot download files over the browser, God, if you can't have file managers, launchers, emulators without jailbreaking your phone.
Which tells us that the phone is capable of doing that, it just doesn't because it was the design choice, especially emulators, because they fall into that whole legal gray area that Apple doesn't want to be a part of.
If syncing your device with another software is mandatory, if you can't download files larger than 50 megabytes using 3G, how?
Because it sounds really nice in the ads, and this is another thing that you have to realize. Everyone is going to call their mobile operating system the most advanced because it sounds nice.
How can you call that advanced? And how can a whole bunch of people, a whole bunch of brainwashed idiots buy into this shit? How can they still buy Apple products after so many developers, publishers, and producers have proved themselves to be twice as good?
Developers, publishers, what are we talking about, a movie or a computer? Either way, I could have an answer for your question, because Microsoft has kind of made it a habit of shooting themselves in the foot.
How? Answer me. Answer me. I don't understand. Well, that's it for this episode. Make sure to leave a like, comment, and all that shit if you'd like.
Okay. One is the 1 year difference between the mature rating and the adults only rating. 2, the shitty background business with the adults only rating and how it's used really as a form of censorship. 3, the parents. Okay, so I'm going to be talking about the M rating and the adults only rating. So the ESRB was founded back in 1994, and with that they came out with these 2 ratings, the mature rating and the adults only rating. So this is really asinine, in my opinion, that they decided to make a 1 year difference between the 2 ratings. I can't think of a single reason why they would do it.
I can, but we'll get there when it becomes relevant.
And they should make the mature rating 16 and up, and the adults rating 18. And if I were a parent, this is pretty ridiculous because in the United States, you can drive a car when you're 16, and here in Oregon State, you can buy fireworks from fireworks stands in parking lots when you're 16. But you can't buy a video game until you're 17? I mean, from a parent's standpoint, if I were a parent, why would I trust my kid with my car that could potentially damage, break, and kill themselves and other people with? Or go kill themselves with fireworks or do something stupid with fireworks, but they can't buy a video game?
Now, I won't lie, I have absolutely no idea how things progress in Oregon State, so I really can't speak on that front, but I can tell you something. At least up here in New York State, a child can still buy an M-rated game. They just need their parent to come with them in order to get it.
Come on, that is ridiculous. It's just as ridiculous as saying, the laws, so saying, so at 18 you can go sign up for the military, but you're not old enough to go out and buy a beer. Same difference.
Once more, a child under the age of 17 can purchase a game that is rated M for mature. They just need a legal adult with them when they do it.
And I don't see the reason why it would be tough to lower the mature rating to 16 either, because a ruling by the U.S. Supreme Court in 2011 found that video games are a constitutionally protected form of expression, and laws restricting our sale or rental based on violent content are unconstitutional. So that said, there wouldn't be any legal charge to lower the rating by 1 year. So why don't they? Is a good question. And then I don't see why the stores are hard asses with the M rating anyway, because they can't get in legal trouble. I mean, the parents can get mad, but I mean, why the store has to listen to the parents? Just return the game, and it's not a big deal. I mean,
and I'll be talking about the parents later, but the story why you have such a motive to even restrict the sales is beyond me. I understand, you don't want to sell an M-rated game to an 8-year-old, but, a 16-year-old walking with a driver's license, me, honestly, when you're saying no to that 16-year-old with a driver's license with an M-rated game, you're just being an absolute dick to them.
No, they're doing their job. In a lot of places, if they don't say no, they could lose their job. Keep in mind that even then, if the child under the age of 17 truly wants to buy an M-rated game, all they have to do is bring their parent with them. It's not that hard.
So my next point is the adults only rating. So Sony and Nintendo and Microsoft, they won't license any video games for their gaming consoles with an AO rating. And the belief is that AO rated titles won't sell well, but this is incorrect because the adults only rating was rated for the Manhunt 2 and Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, and they sold like wildfire. In fact, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, I believe, is the best-selling video game of all time.
Okay, couple things. One, no, the game will not sell well because most stores won't carry it. Two, those examples are not all that great. San Andreas started off as an M-rated game. It didn't actually get the adults-only rating until someone found out that you could hack the game in such a way that allows you to have sex with the characters. That's when they got the AO rating. That's when it got pulled off the shelf. So Rockstar went in and fixed it to get that M rating back. Manhunt 2. The game was deemed too violent for an M rating, so it got slapped with an adults-only rating instead, meaning that the consoles, the major selling market, wouldn't carry them. So they actually went in and fixed it up so that they could sell it on the consoles. And then they ported the uncensored version over to PC later on. See, what I'm getting at is that both those games sold well when they were M-rated.
Behold the power of the Changeling Queen.
So, but the real reason why they restrict the AR-rated video games is to, really it's just censorship, those titles. This is a form of discrimination on the part of the game publisher's part, because you're telling a publisher that I won't license your video game just simply because it has an AO rating. Same thing as telling a person at a job that interview, I'll hire you because you're straight, but I won't hire this person because he's a gay person.
I absolutely love this comparison. It's completely bullshit. Why don't we take a look at why most games are rated adults only, shall we? Alright, so looking at the site, this is a Wikipedia article, so take it however you will. First off, let's start at the top. All Nude Cyber. Released in 1997. Strong sexual content. Critical Point. Released in 2002. Strong sexual content and violence. Hatred. Blood, gore, intense violence, and strong language. Awesome. The Joy of Sex, 1993, strong sexual content. And Exchange, 1997, strong sexual content. Let's take a look at some of these, shall we? Let's see. Let's start off with Exchange. This is Giant Bomb, and they call it a pornographic game about a young man who transformed into a busty girl who is then unable to keep her legs together. It's rated adults only. Can't imagine why. Now let's look at Manhunt 2. This is not a porn game, so let's see why it has the adults-only rating it does. Some of this stuff can be kind of gruesome, so I'm going to put an annotation here to allow you to skip past this stuff, in case you really don't want to see this.
Quit before it's too late.
Yeah. Can't imagine why it was rated adults only.
It's discrimination on the same level. And this is censorship because you're not allowing the adult population to play these games or have easy access to them.
Which is honestly a good thing. You don't want these games to be easily accessible for children because, frankly, most of the games that are rated adults only are porn, which game stores could get in trouble for.
And it restricts people's First Amendment rights, freedom of expression, because the AO, because no one can get their hands on an AO game because the stores won't sell. Most retail stores won't sell them. They won't license the game. So you have to go. You have to go to. You probably have to go to a porn shop to even go buy those games, or you have to order them online. And there's absolutely no reason to do that. Why the stores don't sell them is beyond me.
So now we're complaining about how it stifles the developers' freedom of expression. No, it's not. They still have every right to make the game. They still have every right to sell the game. It's just that you aren't going to see it in your local GameStop, or on the Nintendo, or the PlayStation, or the Xbox, because that's not the market that these companies are going for. The reason behind that is because the majority of the games rated adults only are porn, which is illegal to distribute to minors. So most companies aren't going to take the risk because they don't want to get their asses sued.
No. These big corporations are so greedy with money, I don't know why they even bother. But I really think that the reason why they have this AO range just so... because it doesn't fit in with these big... whoever is in charge of these big corporations, it doesn't fit in with the moral values. I think by religiously, because in the United States, the adults are okay with sending their young people off to go to war and go die, but they're not okay with them drinking, having sex, or smoking. And I think that's absolutely ridiculous. And that's and when they have sex in a video game, people go ape shit in this country. So that's why they censorship AO titles.
It's not fucking censorship! They still have every right to make these games. They really do. They have every single right to make these games. How do you think Hatred got onto Steam, for Pete's sake? How do you think that Rockstar was able to release Manhunt 2, the uncut version, on PC with no issues? It's not that these companies can't make these games, it's just that most publishers won't publish them because it's not the market they're looking for. You know, let's go back to your example. Let's go back to your piss-poor example of hiring a straight guy over a homosexual guy and really make it apply to the situation. Okay, so let's say that you're hiring someone for an IT position, information technology, so you expect them to know computers to some extent. You have two options. You can hire the straight guy who has been doing nothing but studying computers, so clearly he knows his shit, or the gay guy who knows absolutely nothing about computers. Who are you gonna hire?
So my last point is, for the parents, it is your job to be the parent and police what games your children play, not the store. Because it is your job to make sure that your kid is playing a game that's appropriate for their age. When you pick up a game off the shelf like Grand Theft Auto 5, the ESRB is doing everything they can to help you make an informed choice. And then the store clerk will usually help you out too by informing you that this is a mature rated game. Are you sure your kid will play it? So you look on the front of the game box. There's a big fat M on it in the bottom left corner. And you look on the back in the bottom right corner of the box. There's content descriptions and blown up for you. It's rated Grand Theft Auto 5 is rated M for mature for blood and gore, intense violence, strong language, mature humor, nudity, strong sexual content, and use of drugs and alcohol.
Wait. Just a minute ago, We were condemning GameStop for doing their job, for making it a requirement that anyone under the age of 17 has to have a legal adult with them before they can purchase a game. Now we're praising them for explaining to the legal adult why the game is rated M, double checking to make sure that this kid is allowed to get this game. I'm gonna question this and ask you one simple question. How can they double check with the parent if they're not there?
Brush my hair, my dear minion.
View. Now, if you're offended by certain content, I mean, you could simply just not play the game. Just don't support it, okay? But you don't have the right to censorship the game or restrict the sale of the game from the adult population.
Censor the game? No. Restrict the sale of the game? Oh, most definitely. Especially when you're trying to make sure that the games in question only get into the hands of the adult population, which is where the issues arise. Today we're going to be looking at a user called AeroDragon2 and Phantom N Productions. They decided to do a top 10 worst RPG cliches list, and it's broken up in between 2 parts. So yeah, we're going to take a look at that and see how far we get. By the way, we're going to just skip their intro. Except for this part.
Keep in mind, we're only focusing on cliches that are mostly exclusive to RPGs, so as much as we want to include something like forced failure, we can't.
Because this is going to come back to bite them in the ass later on in the video.
One of the things that make RPGs stand out is they're focused on story. With a great story, it usually has some twists and turns in store that can make a plot interesting and always keep you guessing.
But then there are those plot twists that you can see coming from a mile away.
It's later on. Guys, you're talking about crappy plot twists, and the problem that I have with this thing is that it's not mostly exclusive to RPGs. It's pretty much exclusive to anything that has any form of story. You aren't going to just find these in RPGs. In fact, for the most part, you're going to find them in just about everything else you look at, whether it be a movie, a book, or if you want some more video game-based examples, any genre you play.
What makes this cliche bad is that for something that focuses on story, it is very insulting to your intelligence that developers don't expect you to see it coming.
One of the worst examples that comes to mind is in Pokemon X and Y. Since we already saw Team Flare before Lumio City, when I first saw Lysandre, I thought to myself, okay, he has to be the leader of Team Flare.
Alright, that's a cool example at all, but the problem that I have with this is the fact that it's for children. The game is primarily marketed towards children, and let me tell you something, at least in my case, I didn't give a shit about the story when I was playing Generations 1 or 2. The major thing that I was concerned about was catching the goddamn Pokemon.
Behold the power of the Changeling Queen.
If only a plot twist in X and Y wasn't so obvious.
Hey, but at least you can say Lysandre's character.
This random jump cut has been brought to you by lack of retakes.
Alright, I got some new gear. Let's see what it does. What? I can't equip it? What is this madness?
As Arrow stated, the equipment specifications are really annoying in a lot of RPGs. Like, imagine you find this cool new weapon that can take down whatever is in your path, and when you try to equip it, you can't.
This is a problem in many RPGs. Xenoblade Chronicles is a perfect example. There are a ton of weapons and armor that are either character specific or have a weight that only certain characters can use.
Okay, so pretty much the issue is not the fact that you can't use the equipment, but rather that not everyone can use the equipment. How is this an issue?
Another example is in Fire Emblem Awakening with the dark magic abilities. Trust me, if you don't have a dark magic user on your team, you will, and I mean you will, have a lot of dark magic arts in your arsenal you can't use.
Oh, come on, you couldn't have found that many.
I had 30 by the end of the game.
Touché.
What makes this annoying is that when you don't have a character that uses these items, they're a waste until you get a character who can actually use them.
However, this is understandable as only certain characters can wield certain weapons, so it can be forgiven to an extent, but it is still annoying.
Wait, what? See, I didn't initially catch this when I watched the video for the first time, but what you're effectively saying here is that you can somewhat forgive this annoyance because of the very reason it's on your list. Where does this make sense?
Think of this. You're in a battle. You're doing great. Then one of your allies learns a new move. You see it and can't wait to use it. But when you do use it, something bad happens. It does damage to your allies and to yourself.
We all know them. Those attacks we don't use unless we know they are safe to use. The series that immediately springs to mind is Pokemon. There are a ton of moves that attack allies as well as opponents, cause recoil damage, or lower the user's stats.
This would be fine if there weren't many moves that cause this trope, such as Takedown, Earthquake, Flare Blitz, Discharge, Overheat, the list goes on.
Okay, guys, this may sound crazy, but there's an easy remedy for this issue. There's a very easy remedy for the issue that you're describing. It's called reading the description of the attack. I mean, I don't know what RPGs that you've been playing, but the RPGs that I've played, at least, allow you to do just that, so you don't launch a suicidal attack, which they somewhat acknowledge.
Anyway, the reason it didn't get higher is because these can be avoided if you ignore them or use other moves instead.
So if you could choose to not use them as moves, what's the issue?
Alright, I'm all done here. Let's move on. Wait, what? No! Go away! I don't want to fight you! Ugh! Why don't you go away? Why does this keep happening?
Out of all the cliches on this list, this one has to be the most infamous. We have only seen a few RPGs without this trope. But anyway, onto the cliche itself. Random encounters appear when you least expect it, considering they're called random encounters.
Okay, I'm going to skip this segment for one simple reason. You're discussing random encounters. You're discussing them, by the looks of things, in a turn-based RPG-like setting. And the problem with this is that you're talking about a turn-based RPG. There are very few ways that they can handle combat that doesn't involve, to some capacity, random encounters and still have it be a feasibly fun game. Guys, I think you need to learn how to count.
Hey, why are we at number 7?
Because that's where we last saved?
Man, now we have to start
it was just to
all
set up a
over.
poor joke.
Yeah, can you imagine that happening in an RPG?
This may seem to happen in all genres, but RPGs are especially worse, as they're usually longer than other games, making it a pain to do over.
Do you know what happened to me on my first playthrough of Mega Man Battle Network 2? At that point, I didn't know you could save at any time, so while I was on the network, I came across a reconstructed Quick Man, got my butt handed to me, then realized the last time I saved was about a half hour ago.
One for me was in Pokemon Platinum, when I was raising a Zubat into a Golbat, and when I did, I turned the game off without saving.
We hate this cliche because it's so annoying.
Cliche? You're talking about user error. It's not the game's fault that you forgot to save, and it sure as hell isn't an RPG trope. It's literally user error. It is all it is. You can't do something idiotic and then blame the game because you did something idiotic. My God. Why don't we see what they have to say for the next part?
How about we just jump to the number 4 entry?
Sorry, we're restricted to the number 5 segment.
Oh, come on!
Hey, it's bound to happen.
This happens in a lot of RPGs, and it doesn't matter how many times it shows up, it's still annoying.
This cliche happens way more times than it should, because it's freaking ridiculous how a group of magic users and warriors can't get to a small town, but when you do make it, people are already there. Why?
Alright, so now we're being mad at the games for being linear. Why?
Brush my hair, my dear minion.
Anyway, since Arrow here is the only one with a bit of sanity left, he'll explain why this isn't higher.
The reason it didn't get higher is because the more you see it, the more you get used to it. And most of the time, it does have story relevance.
You know, I just realized something. What's the point of making a top worst RPG trope list if you're going to find ways to excuse every single thing on your list? You literally just explained why this trope exists.
Critical hits are really infamous in RPGs as an attack that is randomly chosen to become more powerful than a regular attack.
I'm gonna go ahead and skip this part because once again, they find a way to justify it.
The reason it isn't in the top 3 is because of the rare chance it goes in your favor, it can be useful.
I mean, seriously, the majority of this list boils down to, oh, these tropes are horrible, but they're not that bad. I'm going to go ahead and skip the next segment only because I have absolutely no information on the examples that they use. Effectively, it's about bosses that use reinforcements, that summon reinforcements, and the only really thing I could say about that is any boss that I fought that did that, I generally just focused on the boss, killed them, killed the reinforcements, and then I was happy. They can't really summon reinforcements when they're already dead.
Hey Arrow, I'm so close to beating this one boss. Alright, almost there and...
What's the problem?
It just took me out in one hit. I formed a strategy, but then it just took me down straight to Antarctica.
Well, what killed you?
The overpowered attack!
Big surprise.
If there's one thing that can sour your experience, it's that one boss with that one attack that can obliterate you in no time flat.
You see, RPGs focus on strategy, so you can use your skill and advantages to plan ahead in the battle.
You know what they also focus on? Stats. Meaning if your enemy's numbers are much bigger than yours, you're likely going to die unless you're incredibly lucky.
I can feel my magic getting stronger.
Tales of the Abyss is another good example of this trope because a lot of the bosses have attacks that, while easy to avoid, will absolutely destroy you if you get caught in them.
I actually haven't played this game either, but we don't need to because we're talking about real-time RPGs, and you just said it yourself. The attacks are easily avoided. So, once more, what's the issue?
The previous 9 cliches may have been bad, but at least they were somewhat tolerable. But number 1 is completely intolerable. It's in virtually every RPG, and no matter how much you want it gone, it will never go away.
Even some of the most infamous cliches on this list don't even touch the scale of this cliche. It's the most despicable, destructive, horrid...
Alright, let's cut to the chase. It's status ailments.
Admit it, you knew this would be high. Whenever you pick up an RPG, you will see status ailments.
I challenge you to name one RPG without this trope. Really? No? Alright then.
Status ailments is probably the most common trope in RPGs, but probably has the most variations.
Poison, blindness, paralysis, confusion, sleep, and the list goes on!
Okay. So the number 1 spot on your list is taken up by status ailments, and yes, they can be somewhat irritating, I will give you that. However, there's one issue. It gave freaking critical hits a free pass because they could be used in your favor. So why doesn't this one? I mean, I don't know if you realize this, but in games, hell, even Pokemon, in games where status ailments are a thing, your opponents aren't the only ones that can use them. You can too! For example, bosses that summon reinforcements, put it to sleep, paralyze it, inflict it with some sort of bleeding effect so you can focus on the little guys while the big guy still takes damage. Buff up your attack, debuff theirs, the list goes on. Hell, all Metapod does is buff itself. And even then, it's not like RPGs don't give you items that can help you cure status effects, like Final Fantasy. Paralyzed? Pop an antidote. Petrified? Pop gold needle. Congratulations, you're not petrified anymore, now are ya?
But hey, despite being able to work in your favor, this is clearly the worst RPG trope.
The other cliches may be pestering, but status can be the difference between victory and defeat.
According to you, so are criticals! My god, oh, we're gonna stop the video here. We're gonna cut the video short right here, because quite frankly, this is just the critical attack section all over again, only they're using the term status ailments. So what do I think of the video? I think it's not good. I mean, it's not the worst countdown list I've ever seen, but it sure as hell isn't a good one. The major issues that I have with it are as follows. They constantly justify why some of the things are present in RPGs. Constantly! It's ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous how they'll bitch about, what was it, critical attacks, and then say, oh, but it's okay because they can sometimes work in your favor. And then the #1 fucking spot is status ailments, which can be used in your favor. For example, the overpowered attack? You could probably fix that with status ailments. The restricted area trope, they justify by saying that, generally speaking, it has story relevance. Well, if that's the case, then why is it on your list? And the worst, the absolute worst, bar none thing that they complained about as a worst RPG trope is the fact that you lose progress when you forget to save. I mean, fuck, the next thing you're gonna tell me is that you lose a life every single time you die in Mario. This video was not good, and you know it. This video, there is no possible way that you could have sat down, watched this video, and said, yeah, that's good. Let's post it on the internet for everyone to see. Are you fucking serious, people?
Hey YouTube, it's me again, Couple-Aim Bandicoot64 here, back with another commentary, and this time it's on a kid going crazy at Chuck E. Cheese's. Yeah, and not just jumping around in the play area, no. Spitting on employees, stealing people's tickets, stealing people's rides, and generally causing mayhem.
Alright, that's cool and all, but why? No, really, why? Why waste your time commentating on a video that you found on the internet when there's nothing to really commentate on? You aren't criticizing it, you're literally just spending the entirety of your video going, where's his parents? And explaining what just happened on screen. That's a waste of time. That's a waste of my time. That's a waste of your time. If you're going to talk about a video like this, it's better to use it as a springboard than to actually commentate on it, because literally all you do is describe word for word what happened in the video. And going after Mr. Enter is not proper material for you, because frankly, the only reason why you commentate on the guy anymore is out of spite. Honestly, if you really wanted to hurt him, if you really want to hurt his career, the best way to do that is to shut up and stop talking about it, because all you're doing is generating attention for him. Have you ever heard the phrase, all press is good press? Well, it is no more obvious in a situation like this. Because you know exactly what's going to happen. Someone who's never heard of Mr. Enter is going to stumble across your video and say, oh, I want to see what that guy's talking about. I'm going to check it out. And you know what they're going to do? They're going to watch Mr. Enter's videos. Yeah, they might leave a hateful comment, but you know what? For every 10 people that stumble on Enter's channel and decide that they don't like the guy, there's probably going to be at least 1 or 2 that do. So all you're really doing is giving him a fan base. So stop it.
YouTube, what the fuck? You took down my Hamtaro episode? Are you kidding me? Let me tell you something, YouTube. That show has not been on Toonami in over a decade. It's not even on TV on any channel, not even the Hub Network. They don't even have it on DVD. This is bullshit. I'm sick of you guys claiming copyright claims on every fucking video you want.
Okay, 03 be good. It's kind of funny. Yes, actually, there are DVDs of Hamtaro. And 2, how the hell are you going to dispute this? I know I didn't play that clip, but he says that he's going to dispute this copyright claim. And I'm sitting here thinking, how the hell are you going to do that? I don't know if you realize this, but you took a full episode, no edits, no cuts, no commentary whatsoever, and uploaded it straight to YouTube. What the fuck did you think was going to happen? Because, you know, it's not like there are copyright laws that prevent you from doing that. I mean, the show is still owned by someone. Someone still owns the copyright for Hamtaro. And when you're uploading a full-on episode to YouTube, that depreciates the value of the product. And then they have every single right to take down your video. Because it's a full-on episode of Hamtaro! Now that that's out of the way, let's talk about something that's not 6 months old.
I'm getting really sick and tired of your shit. How come every time I favor a music country. What the hell, YouTube? You know, it's called the World Wide Web for a reason.
It's also called copyright laws. You can't just go and upload a full-on music track and expect it to stay on YouTube for all to hear. You can't. Unless you did like a cover of the song, unless you're making like an instrumental of it, you cannot take a song from iTunes, upload it to the internet, and expect it to stay there because of copyright. This is not because of YouTube, this is because of the copyright holders. And the reason why it may be available in some countries and not because of others is because of different copyright laws in different countries. Granted, there are companies that care more than others, but the general rule still applies. In short, do some research on what copyright is, because you need it.
So that's your collab partner's introduction. Nothing but you having a completely unrelated tangent, then BAM! She just teleports in. That's awful since it doesn't give any actual context as to why she just appears there.
You know, that's a really interesting point. I could almost get behind. Wait a second.
Where the heck did this rainbow take me this time? And who are you, kid? I want to get home. Take me home! Oh no! Why won't it let me leave?
Context. There you go.
Mary Sue sounds like she's coming in from a radio. Really? If she doesn't have a good enough mic to sound like she's not coming from the 1940s, then why is she part of this collab? Her sounding so different from you is so distracting since part of the collab is that you're in the same place.
You know, I was honestly shocked when ZeroRick made this remark considering he's part of a channel where the mic quality differs all the time. All in all, Ryan and ZeroRick's commentary on the British Bunny was not bad. I mean, I did still enjoy it, it's just these 2 points that really kind of irked me.